Human Rights Watch held a seminar with Olympic athletes. During the meeting, the group instructed them not to speak out about China's human rights abuses while they're competing at the Beijing Winter Olympics. That's because the athletes won't have much protection while they're inside the communist country. The Beijing Winter Olympics is next month, and according to the U.S. State Department, China is committing genocide against its Uyghur ethnic minority. But athletes are being warned not to draw attention to human rights issues at the Games. The director of an athlete advocacy group explains why.
One of the reasons we came out with a statement last week or earlier this week advising athletes not to speak up, which is absolutely ridiculous that we're telling athletes to be quiet and to leave when they get home. And the reason being is Rule 50, if you go through the rule, it says under the applicable laws of the country. Well, we know the human rights record and the allowance of freedom of expression in China. So there's really not much protection that we believe that's going to be afforded to athletes.
Rule 50 of the Olympic Charter forbids athletes from making any kind of political or religious demonstration at the Games, though some athletes say they should be allowed to speak out on issues that matter to them, be it at the Olympics or elsewhere.
There should be blanket protection for any athletes that speak up at any time about issues of human rights. Athletes don't only enjoy human rights when they're not competing. Athletes don't only enjoy human rights when they're not on the podium. They enjoy human rights at all times. And so, yes, athletes should be protected when they're not on the podium and not on the field of play, but they should be protected when they're in those places as well.
A researcher for Human Rights Watch who focuses on China explains how athletes could be in jeopardy if they don't heed the warning.
And the Chinese laws are very, vague on the crimes they can use to prosecute people's free speech. You can be charged with picking quarrels and provoking trouble for speaking up. You can be charged for inciting subversion. So there are all kinds of crimes can be leveled for your peaceful, critical comments. And as Sophie mentioned earlier, China's conviction rate is 99%. All those, facts are a good indicator of what could happen to athletes if they decide to speak up.
Reuters contacted the International Olympic Committee for comment. The IOC emailed the outlet saying the Olympic body always recognizes and upholds human rights as enshrined in both the fundamental principles of the Olympic Charter and in its code of ethics. The U.S., along with Japan, Britain, and Australia, have staged diplomatic boycotts of the Games. The countries have cited the ruling Communist Party's human rights abuses.